Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of the anime My Girlfriend is Shobitch, Season 1 on Amazon. And I didn't really enjoy this anime. Now, that's not to say that I don't mind, uh, lewd, kind of crazy sexual situation kind of things, but this was just a kind of one trick pony. Like, they did the same jokes, they did them kind of over and over, and there was very little plot progression. It was almost like a kind of different version of Comey Can't Communicate, but instead of having the various different characters have depth, they just focused on doing the same kind of sex jokes over and over again. And it just really got annoying. It's like I don't mind them, but when that's literally it, it's like this is the objective. It's like, okay, this girl's in her panties, in her bra, doing this stuff, or getting confused about these kind of situations, and they just keep doing it over and over again, and it just doesn't really. It just has the slightest of variations that is just like, okay, I've seen most of this shit before, done better, and done more funny in other kind of ways. It just is boring. I'm like, all right. So the main thing is we get this Shinozaki dude and this Kosaka girl. He's had a crush on her since they first entered high school. He is now in his second year, and he decides to ask her out. And she's like, "All right, cool. Well, as long as you're okay with me." And she's got all of this kind of weird information on sex and misinterprets things constantly. Now, granted, I understand that's pretty much the comedic conceit of this, where she kind of misconstrues almost everything she says, and that her mother has pretty much taught her weird shit about sex from like a young age, and that she has like really no understanding of it. Like she's got like an academic working of it, but does not understand how to kind of like apply it or even try and figure it out shit. And granted, that's the main kind of thing, but seeing them kind of work through it together was the kind of highlight for me as they kind of get together, and she's like, "Oh, okay, you probably don't want me to be your girlfriend because I don't know what's going on." And then you get towards the end of everything, because it's only like 10 episodes, like, "Oh, okay, this is kind of cool." And I'm like, if they focused more on them actually having a relationship, that would have interested me more. Like, I don't mind comedy and the objective of something being comedy. But when all you got are the jokes and everything else is just to facilitate the jokes, and you keep using the same jokes, it really makes for a weakened series, in my opinion. And especially with the animation style just being really basic to me. Like, it's not the most horrendous thing, but like, background people, I don't need background people to be the most detailed, but when you pretty much just like barely kind of put them in there and utilize the same kind of places over and over to cut costs, like, I don't mind effectively using a budget. But when you're pretty much just like, all right, everything's pretty much happening in the school, I get it. They're high schoolers. You know what I mean? Like, I don't believe that you'd be like, okay, let's just fucking put them in a volcano. Though, granted, there are crazy ass comedy situations that you could do something with that. But it's just, all right, I don't want artists and like the people drawing and doing all of the work to get fucked over, okay? That's not what I'm saying. It's like, let them use their talents and do kind of what works best for them, other than, okay, basic ass shit because we need this done as fast as possible. It's like, all right, make sure you treat them right. Treat your animators right, man. Hmm. But then the rest of them are just caricatures. One is a rich girl from an all-girls school that transfers in for some reason and has two dogs, one named Butter, one named Margarine. I understand this is a weird kind of thing to be like, oh, they're mainly stereotypes, but why do you remember it? Because it's fucking weird. And out of everything that they do with a lot of the things, be like, oh, look at this. It's a banana and two ice cream balls. It looks phallic. It's like, alright. Not like I haven't seen that shit before. And that's just pretty much it. And then we got like Shinozaki's sister wants him. His childhood friend, who's a year older than him, who like wants to be called sis, wants him. We got a prude ass representative. Kosaka is a representative, even though she says the weirdest fucking shit, and I don't know how she has the ability to maintain the grades that she has, depending upon what weirdness she's able to kind of spurt out with certain kind of other information. It's like, all right, this one dude who pretty much does the things that makes like, oh, that's kind of male on male. We'll see how that kind of goes. It's like, all right. It's like, oh, we've got a situation where it's making Shinozaki and this dude look like they're gay or whatnot. It's like, all right. And, like, where's the funny kind of situation here? It's like, oh, okay, oh, it looks like they're, like, polishing each other's poles or, like, humping each other or whatnot. It's like, all right. Like, it's basic stuff. It's like, this is a phone. Laugh at it. Why? Why is it funny? Because it's a phone. And? Fucking shit. It wasn't even like observational kind of humor, like, you know, their plain food kind of sucks. It's just like, oh, here's this normal thing, and this either this person misinterprets it, or this person misinterprets it, or this person misinterprets it. Or panty shot, boob shot, weird shot. And then, like, the teachers, like, the nurse is, like, banging on students or whatnot. I'm like, that's not funny to me. Like, that's gonna do some fucked up relationships for those people, man. Like, I'm going, that's predatory nurse, man. I don't care what she looks like, man. That ain't cool. And then the gym teacher lady who's friend with her is just like, stop being an asshole. It's weird. Like, I don't mind sexual situations and, like, the comedy that can ensue from it. A lot of anime that I've seen, like Tenchi Muyo has some funny kind of shit like that. Or, like, any kind of other ones. It's just usually that's not the complete main thing of what's like, this is what we have for this. It's like, because you usually need characters involved for me to be, like, get drawn into the situation. Like, Komi can't communicate. She can't communicate with people. So we see how that kind of, like, goes and develops when she's actually able to start to kind of communicate with people, and how she's able to, like, do stuff with her friends. And then when we learn about her friends and her creepy fucking friend who's really fucking creepy and is really in love with Komi, and it's like, no, what the fuck? No. Like even the comedy that springs from it, it's like, I'm gonna kill you and bury you on a mountainside. It's like, god damn! Fuck, what? And I was like, okay, you at least get character depth out of that. This is just like, alright, Shinozaki's girlfriend Kosuka. Rich girl who has no idea how to have, like, male relationships because she went to an all-girls school and is, I guess, more interested in girls or understands doing romantic kind of things with girls more. And then when you just got the fucking, like, the trope of just, like, little sister is in love with this brother. It's like, no, fuck no, what the fuck, no thank you. And then childhood friend doing the same thing, except the other way. It's like, that's it. They don't really have anything. The only ones that have enough of a character are Shinozaki and Kosuka, as they're kind of dealing with the situations, and then, like, Shinozaki kind of, like, bonding with her father because of the weird shit that the mother does. I was just kind of disappointed in this. I'm like, okay, alright, like, I don't, like, there could be some, like, good comedy and shit that's going on for this, but it's just like, it just didn't work for me, and I'm like, I wouldn't recommend it. There's other funnier ones out there, in my opinion, that also have stories that work within it. Because if all you're going to do is jokes, that can work to a certain extent. I mean, but you have to be really good in how you execute it, everything like that. And the only thing, like, if you don't have characters that are part of the jokes, you really got to make sure that those jokes work, because normally you'd have to have a character involved that makes a joke kind of funny. Like what we do in the Shadows. Most of their jokes wouldn't work if you didn't have the kind of character knowledge that we did. Like Laszlo kind of being lazy on certain kind of things, but then also kind of being somewhat of an asshole, but then deciding to actually, like, help somebody. Or Nadja trying to figure out how to help Laszlo on things, or Nandor trying to figure out what his relationship is with Guillermo, and all the different kind of things that are involved. It's like you can have the archetypes and do the bare kind of basic minimum for it, but you're not going to have people drawn into it and be like, holy shit, this is hilarious because of what this one character did with this other character and how that affected their relationship or whatnot. This was just like, here's pretty much the same kind of sex jokes repeated. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, alright. So, I overall wouldn't recommend this because there's really no plot to it. Other than the basic of like, dude gets girlfriend and sexual misadventures kind of ensue of sexual miscommunications. There's barely any characters. The jokes are just I like. If this is your first forte into sexual jokes, sure, you're gonna probably laugh your ass off. However, I've been around the block enough times to be like, I've seen enough of these, I've seen them done better and more well executed, and yeah, no. And there's no action. Animation is just It's not the worst I've seen, but it's just really not that good. So overall, I wouldn't recommend this even as like, hey, I need something to motherfucking do. No, find something else to do. Read a book, meditate, look at like the photos coming from like space from the new telescope that they put out. Yeah, that kind of shit. Yes, because that shit's cool, man. Looking at fucking like billions of light years and shit, man. That's cool shit. So, those are my opinions on the anime. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.